the rebuild. Let's start there, because I don't think you can start anywhere else with the Vancouver. I mean, you can start with Travis Green. We'll get to him in a second. Are the Canucks going about this rebuild the correct way?
It's the same thing.
It's two in the same?
Travis Green is part of that rebuild, and I think what he mentioned before, saying that he was going to expire, that kind of shook both of us. Murph was talking about the expiring contracts, right?
Yes, correct.
And that is, I think they're going about it the right way. I think Canucks fans wanted them to walk down this road, and they're going to be a little bit patient with them walking down this road. Have a final great goodbye to two great leaders in your franchise's history. They didn't get to the top, but there is no doubting what the Sedins meant to your franchise. Have that year or whatever it means beyond this year. But all those contracts, and of course Louis Eriksson's, have to come off the books. And they've done well replenishing the system. Let them play. Don't push them along too quick. I think they're on that road. Like, I think all this let the kids play has to be balanced with if they're ready, right? You remember Leafs franchises for years drafting high, putting the guys into the NHL too early, them getting their ass kicked and not turning into the player that they thought they were. I hope Canucks fans understand that the only thing worse than drafting bad is putting those players in when they're not ready to play, because it can be just the same thing, no matter what the talent is.
I agree with that completely. I think, but you said something interesting in there in terms of whenever the Sedins decide to walk away. We have no confirmation on when that is going to happen. All of this talk with the Sedins about how they want to retire Canucks, Jim Benning saying we're not going to trade him at the non-waiver, Trevor Linden saying we're not going to trade them at the non-waiver, that's all fine and good. There is not a person on earth who can publicly confirm to me what the plans of 22 and 33 are past this season. Hypothetically, what if they want to play another year? They're not 40. I've seen guys play later than this.
It sounds to me like they want to play beyond this year. I'm with you.
I completely agree. Yeah. So if towards the question of are they going about the rebuild the right way, this can't be part of the rebuild. This when are the Sedins going to go? When are they going to stay? What's going to happen? What's not going to happen? It has to be clearly defined. Now, for all we know, it's already clearly defined between all parties involved.
Right.
But that could change tomorrow. That's not set in stone. The cement's not dry on that. And unless that happens, if you couple the Sedins walking away in some way, shape, or form with the expiring contracts that Murph, and we're hoping he's okay, spoke to just a few moments ago, then the rebuild starts. Because I think you can do both. You can play the kids, and look, I don't want to phrase it in this term. I just want to make this very clear. Okay. I'm not condoning tanking. I think it's a dangerous thing. And I think there are teams in this country who were so inept, they fell ass backwards into doing it often. I don't think they meant to do it. But you have a franchise-defining player now in Toronto. You have a franchise-defining player now in Edmonton.
Correct. And
you have a potential franchise-defining guy in Winnipeg. What is wrong with the Canucks going that route? And maybe the balls bounce their way, and maybe you can get that guy. You're not going to do it by this middling, by the $6 million Louis Eriksson or Sutter or keeping the Sedins. It's not going to work that way. Now, they were that bad last year.
Yeah, well,
they were that bad last year.
What are the expectations for them this year? Like, where do you think the realistic expectations, and I know in the past they've been completely ridiculous with their expectations, or at least they presented that to their fans like they thought they were going to make the playoffs when the rest of the world knew they weren't going to make the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah.
Like, we all looked at that and said, they're not making the playoffs, and they said, we're making the playoffs. But this year, what are the realistic expectations of this team? Because I'm not so sure that the expectations of this team aren't to finish in last, second last, or third last. Like, Vegas is around. I understand that. But beyond that, who are they better than?
In all due respect to Sam Gagner, I don't think he's flipping the script on this story.
But if I understand what you're saying. If you kept the Sedins around even beyond this year, if they are class individuals like everyone's been told they are, if they wanted to stay for $3 million a year, it's not like they're going to put you over the top. Otherwise, they would have done that already.
I just don't. Here's my biggest question with this team. No one's seen what the diminished Sedin role looks like, right? Well, we kind of saw it with Willie Desjardins, and he would roll the same lines.
Beyond Bo Horvat, they have no one to replace him.
I'm with you, but at some point, do you just keep putting them out there because they're nice guys?
No, because they lead to what you're talking about. If you put them out there last year, and they're not your leading scorer, you're still finishing in the bottom half of the league, or bottom half of the league. You're still finishing in the bottom 5 and getting a good draft pick. So what's the harm in having them out there, especially if they're saying, I'll do it for $3 million?
See, I think inherently there is harm in that. In not moving on, there is harm in that. However you define that, however you look at it, they're great guys. They've done amazing things for the community. But if it's still hanging on in this year, not necessarily being about Bo Horvat or being about Brock Besser or being about some of the other young elements to that team, I think that does harm to you. I really do. Now, the other side of that is it's going to be all about the Sedins this year. So those young guys get protected.
Right.
They get a little protected. But I'm all about letting them go, man. Letting him go. Horvat's ready for some more challenges.
Yeah, he is.
He's ready.
Name the other guy.
I'd like to see what Besser does with 17 minutes a night. I know he's played a handful of NHL games.
No, he's going to get that.
Is he?
Yes.
Do we know that?
Who
we
else?
know that?
So Louis Eriksson, Daniel, and Henrik Sedin are going to steal Besser's 17 minutes
I'm not going
to
say Sam Gagner because he can just play the power play and he's fine.
Right.
Like he'll just get those minutes and he's fine.
Well, we'll see.
I just have an inherent problem with this. The Sedins will let us know when they're done mentality, and I just don't think it's right.
My argument is that I think you're diminishing the value of having good people help those young guys along, and that's what the Sedins can do in their role. We'll agree to disagree on this.
Yeah, because we'll continue the conversation
throughout the year.
Long hockey season.
We have a whole year to it. How about we let the people in?
Hilarious memes and GIFs or GIFs. I keep getting that wrong.
I don't even know, and I don't really care.